What is up, you guys? It is your boy Lucius from Toe Trap Tribe here, back with another installment of that Naruto Isekai Ultimate Survival Guide. And once again, you know how we are. We have to start off with a big thank you to everybody who's been supporting this channel over the past months. And, you know, it's been great. I just want to give you guys a really big thank you because we are really close to 400 subscribers. And I cannot wait to show you the video that we've been working on. It's going to have voice acting in it. You know, of course, compliments of your favorite Toe Trap Tribe members, and it's gonna be really fun. I think you guys are gonna have a lot of fun with it. With that being said, let's get right into the video. Okay guys, we have a bit of an issue here. I told you all that whichever comment would be liked the most is where we would put that special seal that we got in the last episode. And so you guys responded in the comments. Some of you were a bit more adventurous with your tattoo ideas than others. But anyway, the selection was supposed to go to the comment with the most Reddit karma. Unfortunately, there was a tie, and I'm not really sure how to decide this tiebreaker. One comment said the left arm, another comment said the right arm. Now me personally, I don't have a dog in this fight, y'all. So what's it gonna be? Left arm, right arm. But regardless of that, let's address another hiccup that I made in last week's video. I told you guys, that's right, me, trusted Papa Lucius. I sat you down, I looked you dead in your eyes, and I told you that Rasengan could only be made with wind-style chakra nature, which is just wrong. It's not true. So, as an apology, another commenter suggested that we actually be able to learn the Rasengan, but maybe put a fire-style type of spin on it, since we're so fixated on chakra natures, right? And, you know, I thought about it. I really did. But listen, if the Rasengan doesn't need a chakra nature, it's just chakra, and the Rasen Shuriken is what happens to the Rasengan when it's infused with that wind-style chakra nature, what would I look like if I just gave you a Rasen Shuriken level technique before Naruto and Sasuke even fight at the final valley for the first time? I know it's fun, I know it's cool, but you gotta admit, it's a bit ridiculous. It's a bit too extreme. We'll get there one day. Don't get me wrong. We will get there one day. But I can't have you copying Naruto because we're original over here. We have to be original. We have to think forward, not backwards. We can't be stagnant. And as far as that fire style Rasengan, or as a commenter mentioned, the Rasen Nova, which is a badass name, by the way. Very cool. Doesn't that feel more like a time skip jutsu? I'm just saying, it feels kind of like a technique somebody would use in Naruto Shippuden. Not part 1, I digress. Y'all, the fact of the matter is, it is time to start building towards the Sasuke retrieval arc. I mean, we're technically already there. Sasuke had his beat down at the hands of Itachi, and we know that he is blasting Linkin Park in his hospital room right now. He's not happy at all. So that means pretty soon the Naruto and Sasuke fight at the rooftop is going to happen. And soon following after that, Sasuke will encounter the ninja from the Sound 5, and then he will make his exit in the night. Now, after that happens, your incentive wouldn't really be all that high to go and pursue Sasuke. But the truth of the matter is, we saw Shikamaru give a speech to the other Genin before they headed off for the mission, and we know he's not that fond of Sasuke either. I don't see a reason that Neji would have been fond of him. Some of the other Genin don't have a reason to like him either. But he's a Hidden Leaf Village shinobi. And that's what counts here, especially after you spent the day hanging out with Naruto and Jiraiya Sensei. You feel a bit inclined to, you know, help him out a little bit. And besides, you're not going to argue with the Hokage, right? You don't really want to square up. Nobody does. So we have our events transpire. Sakura meets Sasuke at the gate, tries to get him not to go, but of course, he knocks her out and he dips. When Naruto finds out, he is on it. Like that. Shikamaru, Neji, Choji, Kiba, the usual suspects, tag along with Naruto, and they head into the woods after him. But this time, you're along for the ride. Now, what's interesting about this section is that there was a bit of contention trying to decide what fight you would fit into most properly. I mean, let's see. You've met Jirobo, you've met Tayuya, and you've met Kimimaru. Now, each of the Genin are able to complete their respective fights. A few here and there do get a little bit of extra help outside from some Sand Ninja later on. But in my personal opinion, I think the fight that holds the most significance and weight for you is the Kimimaru fight. And the reason I say this is because this would be the fight that you would collaborate with Naruto, at least for a short period of time. And since you're essentially filling in as Rock Lee's replacement while he's been in the hospital all this time, you might think to yourself that he won't show up in this scenario. But like I said, the pieces for the most part on the chessboard are gonna be in the same places they would be on the regular timeline. And with that being said, even though you fought Tayuya, quote unquote, before, and you've dealt with Jirobo a little bit before, I think that Koji moment he needed. It was pretty great, and unfortunately they haven't utilized him to that degree since. At least not in my opinion. I know he does get a bit of moments in the war arc where he's not entirely overshadowed. I mean that in the literal physical sense because he's so large. But if we look at Shikamaru's fight, him and Tamari get married later on in the series. So I didn't really want to muck up their chemistry, if that makes sense. So I thought the Kimimaru fight was the most appropriate. And you might be thinking to yourself now, well, okay, if the pieces on the chessboard are going to fall into place mostly the same, what does that mean for Gaara? I mean, because should be no challenge. If it's Gaara, Rock Lee, and our main character all teaming up just on Kimimaru. Well, I thought about that, and I don't want to give you the guys' impression that there's no room for creative freedom here. I mean, obviously that's the entire basis of this video series. So we're just going to make Kimimaru a bit more healthy in this scenario. He's still sick, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't remove that detail from the story completely, but maybe his illness doesn't have to be the reason that he croaks. Maybe you guys can find a way to beat him on your own. And now that we've gotten some of the boring details ironed out, let's move on to how this actually shapes up. So, as I said before, you all take off from the same spot, Hidden Leaf Village Gate, just like the original story. And in a very emotional moment for each individual character, they allow Naruto the big send-offs, and they take care of the fights that they have respectively, which of course is all in an effort to allow him to catch up to Sasuke. It occurs to you at any point in time you could stop and join in to help some of the other Genin, but apart from Neji, you're not really, and I do mean that a bit surprisingly, you're not really inclined to step in as much. They reassure you that, they'll handle it on their own, and you believe them. So with that gives you the opportunity to send Naruto ahead while you deal with Kimimaru. Granted, this is against your better judgment. Only a few episodes ago, Kimimaru would have torn you to shreds. But let's break down how the beginning of the fight happens, because we need to get some scale on how much we've actually gotten stronger since the last time that y'all met. And I'll tell you this right now, it's pretty significant, believe it or not. Once the two of you begin fighting, you learn very quickly that while you can keep up a bit better as far as the taijutsu is concerned, he still edges you out a little bit in that area. This prompts you to activate your flame cloak. By dumping more chakra into your cloak, you can raise the temperature of the fire. But even Kimimaru's bones are standing the test of the heat. You're still having to dodge the strikes that he's performing, and the flame cloak isn't actually helping you too much. It's just draining your chakra. You can feel on your right or left arm, depending on who you ask, that mark that the Frog Elder gave you. You consider if now's the time to use it, but since you're kind of at a stalemate with Kimimaru, even though he seems not to be exerting himself fully, you decide not to use it just yet. Instead, you revisit an old favorite and charge towards Kimimaru with the chakra blade ready. Two you clash for a bit. The kunai knife that you're using is actually holding up really well against Kimimaru's bones, but he throws a feint out towards your face, and the next thing you know, he's disarmed you, kicking the kunai away when you didn't expect it. He adjusts his posture, so now that he's facing you, and he thrusts out another one of those bone swords towards you. But before you can manage to connect, one of your arms from the flame cloak stretches out and absolutely wails him in the face, sending him a good 10 feet back. Sensing the opportunity, you decide to fire a fire-style dragon flame bomb technique at Kimimaro while he is grounded. You release a huge wave of flame that engulfs the field that you're standing in, and Kimimaro is lost in the fire. What you don't expect, however, is that the ground begins to tremble a little bit, and you only just miss a plethora of jagged protrusions shooting up from the earth towards you. When you recover your footing, however, Kimimaro actually appears behind you with blinding speed and kicks you in the back, launching you forward face first onto those jagged bones. Of course, it's a substitution. You've been here before, folks. This is not your first rodeo. He huffs in slight annoyance, seeing as how he's going to have to spend even more time trying to get rid of you. And if your first interaction was any indication, it's clear that he expected a bit more resistance in this fight that he just doesn't feel like he's getting. You're a bit annoyed at how casually he seems to be taking all of this. So you decide to give him a taste of his own medicine. A couple of arms stretch out from your flame cloak and launch themselves into the ground. They travel for a bit towards Kimimaro, and he, of course, tries to get out of the way. But as they shoot out of the ground, they spiral upwards towards him, almost enclosing him in some sort of bird cage. As he's trapped in the flaming embrace, it seems like the increased exposure is beginning to make his skin sizzle a bit. Now you can observe that through prolonged contact, it looks like the increased temperature of your flame cloak could potentially injure him, but then you begin to see black marks dot Kimimaro's skin, starting at the chest just under the collarbone and spreading out from there, almost like a virus. In the next moment, Kimimaro snaps out of the grip of the flame cloak like he's not even trying. In the next moment, Kimimaro hits the ground running. Unfortunately, this time he actually does manage to stab you with one of those bone swords. And this piece of crap decides to leave it in there too. He breaks off that bone, and as you are lurching in pain, he takes the opportunity to give you a solid kick to the chin. This sends you careening upwards. You're doing somersaults like a gymnastics performance. You come crashing back to the ground and you cough up blood. This is getting kind of bad. So bad, in fact, that the absolute shock of it all makes you drop your flame cloak momentarily. You rip the bone that is jutting from your side, and you throw the blood-soaked thing away. It lands in front of Kimimaro's feet, and this bastard has the audacity to reach down, pick it up, stare at it, and start his monologue while you're on the ground in pain. He starts talking about his Keke Genkai, how there's no chance you can beat him. We've heard this before, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure our teammate does this, like to everybody he fights. Couldn't be sure though. Anyway, Kimimaro decides he's going to finish this fight. He uses his bragging dance, but uniquely, he only uses the bones to puncture your legs and your arms to keep you in place for what's about to happen next. This guy's gonna drill you. No, okay. Sorry. Kimimaro readies a clematis dance, and if this manages to touch you, it's over. You're gonna die. So as he's vaulted himself in the air, you can see the shadow looming over you. He's getting closer and closer. You have almost no time to react. But in a move that can only be described as psychotic and more likely the pinnacle of self-preservation, you rip each of your limbs forcefully off of the bone trap, and you manage to just roll out of the way, but you're virtually incapacitated. Kimimaro realizes this, and he doesn't look too discouraged as he takes his time and is about to wrap this fight up. Your body's broken at this point. He hovers over you about to deliver the final blow, and that's when Rock Lee enters with the dynamic entry, totally catching Kimimaro off guard and sending him reeling. You can't believe your eyes. You were literally on the ground when Rock Lee was getting hauled off after his fight with Gaara, and you heard the doctor say he would never be a ninja again. You could feel the emotion in your new sensei's eyes when he heard that his favorite student, let's be real, he's playing favorites, that his favorite student might never ever be a ninja again. So you're absolutely shocked to see Rock Lee, but you couldn't be happier, that's for sure. It's a huge struggle to try and just get to your feet. The puncture wounds that are in your arms and legs have made moving a chore, to say the least. Kinemaro deactivates his curse mark a little bit so he can conserve some chakra now that there is a new piece to the puzzle. He definitely makes sure to throw in a snide comment about you always being needed to be rescued though, to which irks you, but in your condition you can't offer a lot of resistance. Rock Lee offers that you step back while he takes care of Kinemaro. And we'll find out next week. If he can hold up to that promise. And with that being said, y'all, thank you so much for watching the video. Again, the goal is to have these every week on Fridays, preferably late on Friday evenings. But, you know, life happens sometimes. So, sorry that it is later than normal. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Remember, we're so close to 400. Please help us get there. We got a brand new series that we really want y'all to see. And if I hadn't said it before, it's got all your favorite suspects from Toad Trap Tribe in the video. So it's one big collaboration, and it's an isekai. It's going to be really fun. It's going to have a way more kind of humorous tone to it. And we really think y'all are going to get a huge kick out of it. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said, see you guys on the next one.